Hi everybody, this is Jen with Caketastic Cakes, and this is a quick look at my Stitch cake I made. I made the Stitch figure out of gum paste and just a little simple cake for him to be sitting on top of. And in this video I'm going to show you all the steps needed so you can follow along and actually make this yourself. And if you see me using any tools or supplies that you can use, if you check the link in the description below, there's a link to my website and it will help you out. All right, I'm starting, like I said, with some gum paste. You could use fondant if you want to. You just have to add some Tyler's powder to stiffen it up. And I took a big blob of this. It's like a cornflower blue, I think it was, and kind of shaped it almost pear-shaped, like an off-kilter pear. That's going to become Stitch's body. I have a little bean right there that I cut, like a teardrop, for his tail that I just stuck on his little rump there. And I'm taking another piece that I kind of made into like an oval. As you saw, I trimmed it so it would fit against his body. Trim the other side so it's a little flat right there. And then that flat circle I made fits right on top, and that's going to become his back leg. I did the same thing on the other side, and I'm just comparing my circles to make sure his feet will be the same size. And now these little balls that I'm making are going to become his toes. I made 8 of them. He has 4 on each of his back feet. And you just put them on and then smush them down. I'm using the end of my paintbrush there to hollow out the center to kind of cup them. Because his toes are weird. They have that weird little thing going around the toenails. I don't know. This is some just sky blue, nice and bright. Gonna make it into his belly. So I rolled my gum paste really, really thin and trimmed off the extra and just wrap it and tuck it. Now, I don't know if you guys remember seeing the movie Lilo and Stitch. You probably do, otherwise you wouldn't be watching this video. But it was very cute, very different, very round and bubbly. Not many sharp edges at all. Everything I think was rounded. And so when you're making him, just kind of keep it in mind. So I put some dark purpley blue there on the pads of his feet, on the bottom of his feet. I'm making a wiggly, I don't know, circle, flat thing, just a wiggly thing to go down his back because he's got that weird little pattern on his back, and his tail was kind of falling off. Need a little more water there to help stick it on. And I'm just laying it on. I'm not too worried about, it being perfectly accurate with the wiggles, so whatever, trim off the extra and you're good. This is going to be his front arm. His arms are very chunky. They're kind of muscular, kind of chunky. And watch the toes too, because you got to make his little toes and separate them out and make them nice and thick so that they can also have a little toenail attached to the end of them. Later on, I'll show you what I did there. But you can see like the bottom of his arms are really fat, kind of like Popeye arms. So just keep that in mind when you're making them. They were so fat, in fact, they didn't sit up against his body. So that's what I'm doing. I'm trimming off all that extra in order to make it sit up against his body. And what I did on one side, did on the other. I had put some chest hair on him. I didn't like it, so I took it off. So I'm not even bothering showing you that. If you want it on there, go ahead and add it. There are some black little balls stuck on for his toenails, so nothing too hard there. And this is going to be his head. I've got a nice round ball, and hold it up to his body a few times till you get a good size. I'm putting an indentation across the middle of it, and that's going to be his mouth. He's got very much a big old trapdoor Muppet mouth. So it's going to be big. It's going to stretch across like his whole entire face. I put one little divot in the center there just to mark where I think his nose will be. And I'm making a bigger oval kind of teardrop, almond-shaped kind of hollow on either side. Those are going to be his eyes. Now keep everything close to the mouth. His eyes and his nose are close to his mouth. I ended up making them too far up. So I end up redoing the mouth. You're going to see that in a second. Inside those little light blues, sky blues there, I put little hollows. His nose, even though it looks black, it's actually like a purple and navy blue mix. So it's just a really, really, really deep color. You can see right there, like I said, I had to move his mouth crease up more. And then I'm taking some more of that same sky blue and wrapping it around his chin. Just match it up with the length of his mouth. Again, very Muppety, very puppet. His eyes are black teardrops. They fit right inside the hollow, but you want them bulgy because they kind of stick out like a pug or something. They're very stick-outy. This is going to become his ear. His ears are the same color as his body, of course, and even though I rolled them out, I left them on the thicker side because I need to have them strong enough to harden up, and dry and be supported. I put some bright pink, it's actually rose colored, food coloring inside the ear, just rolled it really, really thin, matched it up as best I could. And when you do match it up, make sure the pink goes almost to the edge on the outside part of the ear. And then you're going to take some of that blue on the inside and fold it over and kind of pinch it down just like that. I'm going to attach it with a piece of dried spaghetti. I do not use toothpicks or wires in my decorations. It makes my life more difficult, absolutely. But it also makes my cakes safe. So when you're doing kid-themed cakes like this, consider that kids are going to come over. Some little guy might come over and just take a bite out of something. My son got stuck on a toothpick on a Mickey Mouse cake when he was little, and I vowed never again, or at least not on my watch. So everything I do limit myself using lollipop sticks and spaghetti, but no one gets hurt. It's always safe. Now I'm attaching the ears. As you can see, I just ran it through at an angle. I'll trim off the extra underneath. And I did put a little bit of fresh gum paste there with some water to create basically putty in order for the ear to really hold on to the head. It's sitting on a folded up piece of dish towel that I have, and I'm just going to leave it there. Let it sit, let it dry. I do have a little stick in, or a hole in the bottom, so when I do put him on the cake, he's all set for a lollipop stick. 2 little dots of white food coloring for highlights, and I used a black food coloring marker to make his nostrils. It's kind of hard to say. Okay, here are those nails I was telling you about. He's got long, daggery fingernails and stumpy little toes. I put some more fresh gum paste on there for his head to attach to. Be careful when you add it on that you do not press too hard and cause any cracks anywhere. And once you get it sitting nice, I'm using my food coloring marker again, my black one, to just add a few indentations, a few little wrinkles on his face. And for one last final touch, I'm going to add a little tuft of hair. I just have a little piece of gum paste that I rolled between my hands so it's skinny on either end and fat in the center. Fold it in half, stick it on. Okay. The cake, like I said, was very simple. I'm just showing you a quick little overview of it. It was just a regular 6-inch cake, a little on the smaller side. I covered it in my regular old crusting buttercream icing, stuck it in the fridge as a dirty or crumb coat, brought it back out, covered it in some light purple. I am making a border using a French tip because I love the French tips. I just like how they look. But the French tip going all around the top, all around the bottom, la la la, there you go. And this person that I was doing this for didn't want any fondant or gum paste decorations on the cake itself. Just, of course, Stitch had to be. I can't make him out of icing. So I'm making some patches because he's all, you know, stitched together. And making some patches on the cake itself using different colored buttercreams. I added some little decorations, like, you know, stripes and dots and things. I'm adding some stitch marks to the side. And I did this for all of them. I just had a bunch of different colors, just went around. I personally would have liked this better if I been able to use some fondant decorations, but it is what it is. And so, yeah, there's my cake. Gonna stick them on there. And there you have it. You have a cute, simple little Stitch cake. So I hope you found this video helpful. Please like and subscribe because it helps me out as well. I've got a lot of other videos out there, so take a look around. A lot of other kid videos and Disney themed stuff too. And as always, thank you for watching Caketastic Cakes.